Honeywell is a large multinational company that operates in various industries. Honeywell International offers a wide range of products, including aircraft engines, automation and control systems, specialty chemicals, and personal protective equipment. The company has a long history dating back to the early 1900s and has been involved in many pioneering technologies and innovations. To get hired at Honeywell, candidates may need skills in engineering, manufacturing, research and development, project management, and other related fields, depending on the specific job role. Salary ranges and benefits can vary depending upon the position, location, and experience, but generally, Honeywell offers competitive compensation, health and wellness programs, retirement plans, paid time off, and opportunities for career growth. Hi there, this is Vadim from Online Training for Everyone, and in this video, you will have everything you need to get prepared and pass an assessment test. Make sure to watch this video from the beginning to end, and if necessary, multiple times until you understand all the questions and know how to solve them easily. If this video was helpful and you decide to give this video a like, you will help YouTube algorithm to recommend it to others, and we would greatly appreciate it. And if you choose to subscribe to Online Training for Everyone, you will find relevant videos to help you get ahead in your career and will be able to improve your intelligence, IQ, and get ready and pass any test. One important note: if you would like to practice with the most recent questions for this particular assessment, make sure to check the links in the descriptions and in comments of this video to know about the premium options to get you prepared. And now let's go ahead and get started so we can get you ready for the assessment test. What's interesting about the question I'm about to present you is that it truly tests your analytical skills. You need to determine which number comes next in the sequence, and you're presented with the sequence of 6 numbers where 7th number is missing. The sequence is 23, 11, 20, 12, 18, 14, and then comes the missing number, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 16, choice C, 22, and last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look, maybe do mental math calculations to see if you can come up with the answer. Seems unsolvable, isn't it? But be sure that the answer will look so simple as soon as I reveal it, just like in the magic trick. Maybe give yourself additional 15 to 20 seconds to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a frequent visitor or a subscriber to this channel, you know the rule. And rule is to find the pattern. But in this particular question, there are 2 independent patterns. Let's look closely so I can share them with you. The numbers 23, 20, 18, and 17 represent first pattern. And the next number is calculated by subtracting decrementing number from the previous number. Let's look at the example. 23 minus 3 equals 20. 20 minus 2 equals 18. You see that the 3 is decremented by 1 to get to 2. The next number is calculated as 18 minus 1, which is decrement from 2, equals 17. The even numbers 11, 12, 14, and then the missing number are calculated using the different pattern. In fact, the opposite pattern, where instead of decrement, we use increment. Let's look at the examples. 11 plus 1 equals 12. Then we increase 1 by additional number, and we increment 12 by 2, which leads us to a result of 14. Then the next number, the missing number, is calculated as 14 plus 3, which would be equal to 17. So the correct answer here is choice A, 17. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's another tricky problem which tests your critical thinking and analytical skills. You're presented with 8 objects, and object number 9 is missing. You need to find the pattern and select the 9th object out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I'm pretty sure that by now you've identified the correct object. So I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this problem is that the objects that we see here form groups based on the color. And there are three groups present: the group for red objects, the group for yellow objects, and the group for green objects. Red and yellow groups are complete, but the green group is missing the object. You would argue that this doesn't help us much because all four choices A, B, C, and D, they all have green objects as a sample. But this helps us to detect the pattern in the complete groups. If you look closely, you will see that objects in the red group and in yellow groups, they all have the same number of sides. For example, all three objects in the red group have 4 sides. Objects in the yellow group have 5 sides, which means that object in the green group should have 6 sides, because 2 presented green objects have 6 sides. And the only object which is green and has 6 sides is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question with the answer that will definitely surprise you. You're presented with the circle broken down into the 8 parts. Each part has letters inside, and letters are O, S, then comes the missing letter, T, another missing letter, O, another missing letter, and ends in P. You need to complete the object by selecting the choice of 3 grouped letters. Choice A is represented by letters I, E. Choice B is represented by letters T, N. Choice C is represented by letters E, N. And last but not least, choice D is formed by the letters of I, N. Take a close look to see if you can complete the object. I'm going to give you a quick hint to help you solve it. Take a close look what happens if you move clockwise. I'm pretty sure you are by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this question is how amazingly simple the solution is. If we start with the letter P, we can form a word position. Let me spell it for you. P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N. Let me pinpoint 3 considerations that will help you solve these types of problems on the test. When you look at the question is complete the object, and letters are the choices, which most of the time would mean that you need to form the word. Circle shape in the original question mimics the clock, which a lot of times mean that you need to select the direction, which could be clockwise or counterclockwise. To solve these types of challenges, you typically need to look at consecutive letters that are already present. So the 3 consecutive letters that are present are P-O-S, which would kick off your thinking about the word position. As you might have guessed by now, the correct choice here is choice D, letters I-N, which help you to form the word position. Did you come up with the different answer? Or maybe you have other tips on how to solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post in comments. In this section, we will look at the logical reasoning questions that are used to evaluate candidates' ability to reason and draw logical conclusions from the information given. The questions on this type of test typically involve sequences of shapes and numbers, analogies, and deductive reasoning questions. Let's look at some sample logical reasoning assessment test questions to get you prepared. Here's a tricky problem which some might find challenging, but you, being a subscriber to this channel, will solve very easily. You're presented with 3 expressions. Each expression is of a different color. And one of the items in the 3rd expression, which represented by the blue color, is missing. You need to select the missing item, which is currently question mark, out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Consider pausing this video to see if you need more time to find the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve any challenge, the key is to find the pattern. And this question is no exception. The pattern here is rather unusual, but it still exists. And the pattern here is that there are 3 core shapes represented by objects in the first column. The core objects here are arrow pointing up, star, and the circle. And all remaining objects are just the variations which is created by merging core objects into another object. Let me demonstrate by starting with the red sequence. Red sequence is created by starting with arrow, merging arrow with the star, and then merging the result with the circle. Yellow expression is created by starting with the star, merging it with the circle, and then merging the result with the arrow. And last but not least, blue sequence starts with the circle, completes the merger with the star, and then missing item can be created by doing another merger with the arrow. As you might have noticed, the objects here presented as expressions instead of being a sequence. There's no other reason to do it than just to confuse you. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please post your ideas, solution, and rationale in comments. I love this challenge because it tests your analytical skills and spatial reasoning skills so well. You need to find the resulting shape after the transformations. You're presented with the square that consists of different triangles of a different color. And you need to turn the original shape 90-degree clockwise 3 times. You have 4 different choices to select the shape after the transformations. Choice A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final solution. Did you figure it out? Because I am moving forward to share with you my version and my way of solving it. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you need to mentally turn the original shape 90 degrees 3 times. This is not easy to do because our brain is not really designed for this. But if we take one of the triangles and try to follow this triangle by turning the original square, this task might be much easier to accomplish. The caveat here is that we need to select triangles that are not symmetrical on both sides. For example, red triangles are symmetrical. You see red triangles on the left and red triangles on the right. And if we try to follow it, it would be extremely hard to detect where the red triangle will end up. But if we take green triangles, any one of them, or yellow triangles, they're much easier to follow. So let's do the turning. Let's take the original square and I am going to follow the green triangle on the left. Let's do the first turn 90 degrees. You see that the green triangle ended up on the top. Let's do another turn. We follow the same green triangle and now it's on the right side. And the last 90-degree turn, our green triangle ended up at the bottom. So the correct choice here is choice A, where green triangle ended up on the bottom. Do you have a better way to solve it? Or maybe did you come up with a different solution? Please make sure to post your thoughts and rationale in comments. Here's a very interesting question which might make you think, but hopefully you will get it very quickly. If 5 people can sew 5 shirts in 5 minutes, how long will it take for 100 people to sew 100 shirts? You're presented with 4 different choices. Choice A, 500 minutes. Choice B, 100 minutes. Choice C, 5 minutes. And last but not least, choice D, 60 minutes. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can get to the right answer. And on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Here's the trick. If 5 people can sew 5 shirts in 5 minutes, we can say that 1 person can sew a shirt in 5 minutes. Now, if 100 people work together, their combined productivity will be 100 that of 1 person. Because we can scale up so easily in this production, it will take 100 people 5 minutes to sew 100 shirts. So the correct answer here is choice C, 5 minutes. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, please make sure to share your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at some sample mechanical aptitude questions you typically see on the test. A mechanical aptitude test is an assessment designed to measure a person's understanding of mechanical principles and their ability to apply them in various situations. Mechanical aptitude tests typically assess several key areas, including mechanical comprehensions questions, which gauge your understanding of basic mechanical principles such as gears, pulleys, levers, and simple machines. You also get spatial reasoning questions in this test, which assess your ability to mentally manipulate the objects in 3-dimensional space. Some questions focus on tools and instruments, and they evaluate your familiarity with common tools and instruments used in mechanical work. And last but not least category is mechanical problem-solving questions, which present you with mechanical problems or scenarios and test your ability to analyze and solve them. Let's look at some sample mechanical aptitude questions we typically see on the test. Here's an absolutely brilliant and at the same time very tricky question, but I have full confidence that you'll be able to solve it. You need to determine which item is the heaviest. And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2 pounds of iron. Choice B, 2 pounds of cotton. Choice C, 2 pounds of potatoes. And last but not least, choice D, neither one. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I am pretty sure you already have an answer by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have figured out, all 3 objects, 2 pounds of iron, 2 pounds of potatoes, and 2 pounds of cotton, will have the same weight. The explanation for this is that the weight of an object is determined by the force of gravity acting on it, and this force is proportional to the mass of the object. Since all 3 objects have a mass of 2 pounds, they will experience the same gravitational force and therefore will have the same weight. But the confusion here is that the density of these objects is different. Density is a measure of how much mass is packed into a given volume. Iron is much denser than potatoes or cotton. This is why, if you have to compare the volume occupied by each object, the iron will take up less space than the potatoes or the cotton. Presented images are very misleading and were designed to confuse you. So the correct answer here is choice D, neither object, since neither object is the heaviest. I love this question because it really boosts your IQ and improves your intelligence. You're presented with 3 rows of objects. Each object represents a square and circle inside. You need to select the missing object out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I have full confidence that you figured it out by now, and this is why I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To better solve this challenge, let's assign columns and rows to each object here in the picture. We will have columns A, B, and C, and rows 1, 2, and 3. This would allow us to reference objects better. As you might have guessed, each row describes the pattern of ball bouncing against the wall. Let's start by looking at the object A1. This is where the ball in the upper left corner, and it moves downwards toward the middle of the bottom section. And this is where exactly we see the ball in the object B1. After that, ball bounces and moves upward, and this is how we see it in C1. When ball bounces against the wall, it travels in the direction based on the angle of the initial impact. After the initial impact, the ball will continue moving in the new direction until acted upon by another force, such as hitting another wall or an object. Let's confirm this pattern by looking at the row 2. In the object A2, we see the ball against the left wall. Then it moves toward the bottom wall, and then bounces against the bottom wall, and then moves toward the right wall. Knowing the pattern, we can easily detect the answer now. If you look closely at the picture, the ball in the row 3 moves from the position 1 to the position 2, and then to the position 3. So the correct answer here is choice C. Did you get to the same answer? Or maybe you know the tips how to solve these problems better. Please make sure to post and share them in comments so we can all learn. And now I have a question for you to practice your skills. You're presented with the seesaw. On the left of the seesaw there is a weight, and on the right side of the seesaw there is an acrobat. You need to determine in which direction should the acrobat move his body to balance the seesaw. And you have 2 choices, choice A to the left or choice B to the right. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck solving the challenge. In this section, we will look at electrical skills questions we frequently see on the test. The electrical assessment may include various types of questions, tasks, and scenarios that gauge candidates' understanding of electrical principles, troubleshooting skills, and practical applications. Some typical types of questions might include theory and concept, where candidate might be tested on their understanding of electrical theories, concepts, and fundamental principles. Another popular one is circuit analysis, where a candidate could be presented with the circuit diagram and asked to analyze or troubleshoot them. This might involve identifying components, determining voltages and currents, and predicting circuit behavior. Last but not least type of question could be problem solving, where scenarios involving electrical issues or malfunctioning may be presented, and candidate may be asked to diagnose and propose solutions to these problems. Let's look at some sample electrical skill questions we frequently see on the test. Here's an amazing question to test your skills and knowledge. You're presented with the relay, and you need to identify the relay type, which is shown below. It could be one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, SPST. Choice B, SPDT. Choice C, DPDT. And last but not least, choice D, none of the above. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Seems a little confusing, don't you think so? But I think I got my answer, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As usual, let's start with the definition. So what is a relay? Basically, a relay is a switch, and it's electrically operated switch which is used to control the flow of current in the electrical circuit. There are many types of relays available, but let's focus on the 3 that are choices in the answers of this question: SPST, SPDT, and DPDT. Let's start with the simplest one, single pole, single throw relay. In this relay, there's a single set of contacts, basically a single switch. This relay can provide a simple on-off control where the load, such as lamp, motor, or solenoid, is either connected or disconnected. Here's the simple example where we turn a lighting bulb on and off. A lot more complex relay is DPDT, which stands for double pole, double throw. This type of relay has 2 sets of contacts, each with a common terminal and 2 other terminals. Here's how DPDT relay works. As you might have guessed, DP stands for double pole. The double pole indicates that there are 2 separate circuits, poles, within the relay. Each pole has its own set of contacts. Double throw, DT, on the other hand, means that each pole can switch between 2 different positions or states. In other words, each pole has a normally opened, NO contact, and normally closed, NC contact. But as you might have guessed, neither SPST nor DPDT are the correct answer to the question. There is another type of relay, SPDT, which stands for single pole, double throw, which is shown on the original picture. In SPDT relay, there is a single set of common contacts that can be connected to 1 or 2 other sets of contacts. The common contacts are connected to either the normally open NO contact or the normally closed NC contact, but not both simultaneously. SPDT relays are used for applications where a changeover between 2 different states is needed. Common uses include reversing the direction of a motor, switching between 2 power sources, or toggling between 2 different devices. So the correct answer here is choice B, SPDT. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's the tricky problem, but I have full confidence you will be able to solve it. You have 3 switches outside the room and 3 light bulbs inside the room, with each switch controlling just one and only one light bulb. You need to determine which switch controls which bulb, but there are some limitations. For example, you cannot look inside the room while you're setting the switches, and you're only allowed to enter the room once. Bulbs are reachable, so when you enter the room, you will be able to switch bulbs if necessary. The question is, how can you determine which switch controls which bulb if you're only allowed to enter the room once? Tricky question, don't you think so? But the most interesting thing that there is a hint inside the question itself. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think to solve this challenge, you need to turn on any 2 bulbs and keep them on for the period of time. For example, to keep it simple, you can use switches 1 and 2 to turn them on. After a few minutes, you can turn off one of the switches that you initially turned on, for example, switch 2. The idea is that you let the bulb warm up, so you can determine which bulb was on for a period of time by touching it when you enter the room. When you enter the room, you will see that one bulb is on, and 2 bulbs will be off. But you will be able to touch both bulbs that are off to determine which one is warm. This is the bulb that is connected to the switch too, because this is the bulb that you turned on for a few minutes and then turned off. What's interesting is that there is a hint in the question itself. As we learned in the question, bulbs are reachable, so when you enter the room you can switch the light bulbs if necessary. You have no need of switching them, but you can determine which bulb is warm, so you can determine which bulb was on for a period of time. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for cognitive test, which represents an assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' mental abilities such as problem solving, critical thinking, and memory. The questions in the test can vary, but typically involve math problems, logic puzzles, spatial reasoning, and verbal comprehension. Let's look at some sample cognitive assessment test questions we typically see on the test. Here's another tricky problem which tests your critical thinking and analytical skills. You're presented with 8 objects, and object number 9 is missing. You need to find the pattern and select the 9th object out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? I'm pretty sure that by now you've identified the correct object, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this problem is that the objects that we see here form groups based on the color. And there are 3 groups present: the group for red objects, the group for yellow objects, and the group for green objects. Red and yellow groups are complete, but the green group is missing the object. You would argue that this doesn't help us much because all 4 choices, choices A, B, C, and D, they all have green objects as a sample. But this helps us to detect the pattern in the complete groups. If you look closely, you will see that objects in the red group and in yellow groups, they all have the same number of sides. For example, all 3 objects in the red group have 4 sides. Objects in the yellow group have 5 sides, which means that object in the green group should have 6 sides, because 2 presented green objects have 6 sides. And the only object which is green and has 6 sides is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question with the answer that will definitely surprise you. You're presented with the circle broken down into the 8 parts. Each part has letters inside, and letters are O, S, then comes the missing letter, T, another missing letter, O, another missing letter, and ends in P. You need to complete the object by selecting the choice of 3 grouped letters. Choice A is represented by letters I, E. Choice B is represented by letters T, N. Choice C is represented by letters E, N. And last but not least, choice D is formed by the letters of I, N. Take a close look to see if you can complete the object. I'm going to give you a quick hint to help you solve it. Take a close look what happens if you move clockwise. I'm pretty sure you are by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. What's interesting about this question is how amazingly simple the solution is. If we start with the letter P, we can form a word position. Let me spell it for you. P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N. Let me pinpoint 3 considerations that will help you solve these types of problems on the test. When you look at the question is complete the object, and letters are the choices, which most of the time would mean that you need to form the word. Circle shape in the original question mimics the clock, which a lot of times mean that you need to select the direction, which could be clockwise or counterclockwise. To solve these types of challenges, you typically need to look at consecutive letters that are already present. So the 3 consecutive letters that are present are P-O-S, which would kick off your thinking about the word position. As you might have guessed by now, the correct choice here is choice D, letters I-N, which help you to form the word position. Did you come up with the different answer? Or maybe you have other tips on how to solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post in comments. question which was initially designed to test your spatial reasoning, but also could be used to test your cognitive abilities and analytical skills. You're presented with 4 shapes, and you need to find the square which fits all the shapes across the borderlines. You need to select one square out of 4 possible choices based on the borderlines presented. Choices are A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can identify the item. Seems challenging, don't you think so? Let me give you a hint. Try to see if you need to rotate the shapes or do any other manipulations with the shapes before trying to fit them. Are you ready now? Let's move forward and I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Not sure about you, but I was able to solve this challenge in 3 simple steps. In step 1, you need to assign the numbers. In step 2, you need to rotate the shapes to position them to fit. And in the last, step 3, you need to try all the options to find the square which fits all the shapes across the separator lines. Let's look at the example. Let's first assign each shape a number. Because we have 4 shapes, the numbers will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. The second step is the hardest. In this step, you need to rotate the shapes to position them to fit, and you need to find the closest square which fits all the shapes. Let's rotate each shape to get them into the correct position. Let's rotate shape 1, now shape 2, now shape 3, and now shape 4. You need to watch out because rotation could be in the different directions, as it happens in this question as well. And once you have all the shapes rotated correctly, we need to move to step 3, where we will try all the options to find the square which fits all the shapes. Square A is not going to fit them because there are 5 shapes based on the borderlines. Square C also is not going to fit them. Same with square D. So the only correct answer here is choice B. Did you get to the same conclusion? Or maybe you found a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for verbal reasoning test for employment, which typically represents an assessment used by employers to measure candidates' ability to comprehend and analyze written information. The questions typically involved reading passages, answering questions based on the information presented, as well as identifying relationships between words and understanding the vocabulary. Let's look at some sample questions that you typically see on the test to make sure you get ready. Here's an amazing question which tests your logical reasoning and verbal reasoning skills. You're presented with 3 verbal statements, and you need to determine if the final statement is true. The first statement is, most small businesses are family-owned. The second statement is, most family-owned businesses are profitable. And the last statement, most small businesses are profitable. Is this statement true? You need to select out of 3 possible choices. Choice A, yes. Choice B, no. And last but not least, choice C is uncertain. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is A, yes, which means that most small businesses are profitable, and this is the accurate statement. Which means that the statement, most small businesses are profitable, is true. Let me explain you why. If most small businesses are family-owned, and most family-owned businesses are profitable, then it stands to reason that most small businesses are also profitable. What's interesting to note about this question is that answer C, uncertain, might also be accurate, and some test systems might be configured to accept it as the accurate answer. And the main reason is that the relationship between the statements are unclear, or if there's insufficient information to make logical conclusions, you can answer uncertain. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. I love this question because the answer represents such a powerful business concept. You're presented with 10 letters, and you need to build English business word by using each letter only once. The letters are N, I-N, A-V-O, and I-T-O. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to the process of introducing new ideas, products, services, or processes that add value to society, the economy, or organizations. Did you figure it out? I hope the hint was helpful because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, as usual, please make sure to post in comments. My answer is innovation, and the word is spelled as I-N-N-O-V-A-T-I-O-N. What's interesting is that innovation involves combining creativity, technology, and practicality to develop new solutions that meet people's needs and address emerging challenges. Innovation is also crucial for the growth and development of the businesses, economies, and societies, and it drives competitiveness, productivity, and progress. Let's look at the examples of the most recent consumer innovations. Number 1 is streaming services. The popularity of streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus disrupted the traditional TV industry by offering on-demand access to the vast library of movies and TV shows. The fact that I can broadcast my videos and share them with you directly is also part of streaming services innovation. The next one on my list is electric cars. The development of electric cars by companies such as Tesla, Nissan, and Chevrolet has provided consumers with a more sustainable and energy-efficient alternative to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. Another example of recent innovation is wearable technology. The emergence of wearable technologies such as smartwatches, fitness trackers, and virtual reality headsets had powered people to track their health and fitness, stay connected, and experience immersive digital content. We also recently enjoyed innovation of online marketplaces. Companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Etsy revolutionized the way people shop by providing them with vast selection of products, competitive prices, and fast delivery options. And last but not least on my list is the smart home technology. The rise of smart home technology allowed people to control and automate various aspects of their homes, from lighting and temperature to security and entertainment, using voice commands and mobile apps. Do you know any other examples of recent innovations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. A very interesting question for you to try your skills. You're presented with 9 letters of the English alphabet, and you need to build English business word. The letters are O-L-S-U-O-T-I-N-S. Take a close look to see if you can construct English business word. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to a set of products, services, and strategies that are designed to solve specific business problems and meet the needs of organizations. Did you figure it out? The answer is solutions. Business solutions are typically developed by vendors or service providers who have expertise in particular industry or functional area. The word is spelled as S-O-L-U-T-I-O-N-S. And the goal of business solutions is to help organizations improve their efficiency, productivity, profitability, and overall performance by addressing specific challenges or opportunities in a strategic and effective manner. Can you come up with any other words using the same letters only once? If you did, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Very frequently, you might be presented with the question where you need to determine the relationship. This is one of these types of questions. You need to determine if CEO is to the company as choice A, quarterback is to football, choice B, director is to a movie, choice C, conductor is to orchestra, choice D, pilot is to plane, or choice E, chef is to restaurant. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the right relationship. This is not an easy question, but keep in mind that you have a choice of pausing this video and maybe thinking about it for 10 to 20 seconds to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? Let me share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To understand the answer to this question, we need to understand who the CEO is. And the CEO, which stands for Chief Executive Officer, is responsible for making strategic decisions and overseeing the overall operations for the company. Knowing this information, let's build an analogy. CEO is to a company is as a leader to the organization. In the next step, let's look at the choices we're presented with and build similar analogies. For example, quarterback is to football is as a leader to the type of the sport. Choice B, director is to a movie is as a leader to the final product of work. Choice C, conductor is to orchestra is as a leader to the team. Choice D, pilot is to a plane is similar to the leader of the machine. And last but not least, choice E, chef to the restaurant is as a leader to the organization. As you can see, by eliminating the options that do not maintain the relationship, we found the correct pair of words that represent the correct analogy. Based on this information, the correct answer here is choice E, chef is to restaurant. Did you come up with a different solution? Please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your English business vocabulary. You need to build English business word using all the letters presented on the screen, and you only need to use each letter once. The letters are G-O-I, S-L-T, I-C-S. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because I want you to succeed so much, I'm going to give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the movements of storage of goods or materials from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Did you figure it out? I'm going to move forward and share with you my version of the answer. But if you have a better way or alternative way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The answer is logistics. The word is spelled as L-O-G-I-S-T-I-C-S. To get better at solving these types of challenges, try to visualize the word and try different combinations. For example, if you look at original 9 letters, you will see that if we start from the middle, you can start building the word L-O-G, and then you build the remainder of the word to get to the correct answer. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or techniques that can help you solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post them in comments. In this section, we will look at the most common customer service test questions we typically see on the test. A customer service test is a type of assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' customer service skills, abilities, and aptitude for dealing with customers. Customer service test assesses various aspects of customer service, such as communication skills, problem-solving abilities, empathy, and professionalism. The typical purpose of the customer service test is to determine candidates' potential for delivering high-quality customer service and their fit for a customer-facing role. This test helps employers to assess how well a candidate can handle customer interactions, resolve issues, and represent the customer in a positive manner. Let's look at some sample customer service test questions we typically see on the test. Here's an interesting question to see how well you would deal with customer service inquiries. A customer is upset because her favorite pizza is currently unavailable. What is the best way to respond? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Choice B, offer the customer an alternative pizza option. Choice C, inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock. And last but not least, choice D, state that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? If not, please make sure to pause this video to see if you can come up with the answers, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to resolve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, this question is not about picking one of the choices. This question is about a fundamental customer service principles and how you use them to answer this particular question. You also want to make sure to mention all these principles when you're answering this question in person. So what are those principles? There are 4 of them. Number 1 is acknowledging the customer's disappointment. Because her favorite pizza is not available and you show empathy, this shows your understanding of her feelings. Number 2 principle is providing an immediate alternative option, which shows responsiveness and commitment to helping the customer promptly. Number 3 principle is taking responsibility for finding a solution, which exemplifies ownerships and dedication for you to help resolve customer issue. And last but not least is the principle of offering an alternative. In this case, you can offer alternative pizza, which would demonstrate a proactive approach to addressing the customer concern and finding a suitable resolution. Based on these 4 principles, let's look at the incorrect answers and why you might avoid selecting them. Choice A. Tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Using this selection passes the responsibility to the manager and may make customer feel ignored and dismissed, and it is important to take initiative and attempt to assist the customer directly. Choice C. Inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock is a good choice. But this is not the best choice. While this response shows some willingness to help, it may leave the customer waiting for the solution. Offering an immediate alternative is a more proactive approach. And last incorrect choice is choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Telling the customer that it's not your responsibility can come across as unhelpful and may lead to further dissatisfaction. You should strive to assist the customer as much as possible within your capacity. So as you might have figured out, I believe that the correct answer to this question is choice B. Offer an alternative pizza option. By offering an alternative pizza option, you address the customer's disappointment and demonstrate willingness to help. In addition to the suggestion, you can also offer to search for her favorite pizza flavors in competitor brands. This approach helps turn a negative situation into a positive one, where you learn more about the customer and find the proactive solution as possible suitable alternative. What do you think about this question? Do you agree with this solution? Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the personality assessment test questions. A personality assessment test is a type of psychological evaluation used during the hiring process to assess candidates' personality traits, behavioral tendencies, and work-related preferences. This test aims to provide insights on how a candidate might behave, interact with others, and fit into the company's culture. The typical purpose of personality assessment is to gauge a candidate's suitability for a particular job or work environment based on their personality traits. Personality assessment test helps employers to identify individuals who possess the desired characteristics and align with the organizational values. Let's look at some sample personality assessment test questions we typically see on the test. I love this question because it tests candidates' ability to prioritize as well as candidates' leadership skills. You're presented with the question where you need to select 2 statements. One statement that best describes you and another that describes you the least. The 4 possible answers to this question would be A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. Choice B. I work even better when everything goes wrong. Choice C. I think small details are important. And last but not least, choice D. I like to be best player on my team. Take a close look to see if you can come up with 2 answers. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Let's first look at the important considerations on how you can select the right answer. There are 3 important considerations here, and they all fall into one category: job relevance. You need to consider the requirements and responsibilities of the role you're applying for. Number 2, you need to think about how each statement relates to the demands of the position. And last but not least, number 3, you need to choose the statement that demonstrates a good fit for the job and showcases qualities that would be beneficial for the specific context. Let's take a look at how you would select the right answer in the specific categories. Let's start by looking at the choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. If you choose this answer, it would show that you're a self-structured person that could work independently. Choice B, I work even better when everything goes wrong, shows your stress tolerance, your ability to work in stressful and unpredictable situations. Choice C, I think small details are important, would show your level of attention to details that could be important for jobs such as accounting, programming, controller, and other jobs that require attention to details. And last but not least, choice D, I like to be the best player on my team, shows how competitive you are. This is a good choice for the sales position, but could be a problematic choice for the manager roles. Let's look at the examples of the choices that best describe me. One of the choices that you might select would be choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. I'm a very disciplined person. I can independently prioritize different tasks, and I can take responsibility of the results of my job. I prefer to organize my work schedule by myself without over-attention from managers. I can be much more productive by working in this way. This is why I selected the choice A. I can organize my work schedule by myself. Now let's look at the choice that at least describes you and considerations you might consider providing. For that statement, I selected choice D. I like to be the best player on my team. Of course, I want to show off my skills and I want results be fairly evaluated. But I understand the importance of teamwork for good results. And in this way, I can do a back office job when it's necessary. I will put overall results of my team in the first place, even if it temporarily slows down my own results and my progress. Do you have any other suggestions on how you can answer this type of questions? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. In this section, we will look at the work simulation test, which is used to evaluate candidates' ability to perform tasks and skills required for the job. The questions on this type of test typically involve simulated scenarios and tasks that are similar to what the candidate would encounter on the job, such as data analysis, customer service, and problem solving. Let's look at some sample work simulation assessment test questions to get you ready. Here's a very interesting question to determine how well you can work with others. You need to determine what is the best way to schedule a meeting with the client who is based in a different time zone and has limited availability. You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A. Schedule the meeting without considering the client's time zone. Choice B. Email the client with several date and time options without specifying the time zone. Choice C. Check the client's time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. And last but not least, choice D. Schedule the meeting during your manager's preferred time slot without considering the client's availability or time zone. Take a close look to see if you can select the right answer. And I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice C. Option C is the best choice because it takes into consideration the client's availability and time zone. There are 2 stakeholders in this action, your manager and your client. And you need to check the time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. This will ensure that the meeting is scheduled at a convenient time for both parties, and this minimizes the risk of confusion and miscommunication. Let's also look at other options to determine why they might be incorrect. Let's look at option A. It is wrong because it ignores the client's time zone, which will lead to scheduling conflicts. Option B is also incorrect because it does not specify the time zone, which can cause confusion and miscommunication. And last but not least, option D is incorrect as well because it disregards the client's availability and time zone, which can lead to scheduling conflicts and damage the company's reputation. When you solved this challenge on your own, did you come up with a different answer? If this is the case, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Very frequently on the test, companies look at your customer service skills. This is one of these types of questions. You work as a CSR and need to help troubleshoot internet connectivity. What is the best approach to troubleshoot slow internet speeds for a customer? You're presented with 4 choices and you need to select one. Choice A. Ask the customer to restart their modem and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice B. Ask the customer to restart their computer and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice C. Ask the customer to check their internet connection and transfer to technical support if the issue persists. And last but not least, choice D. Walk the customer through the thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. If you need to pause this video, feel free to do this to reread the answers and select the correct one. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it or have a different important considerations, please make sure to bring them up in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D. To remind you, in choice D, you would need to walk the customer through a thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Only this approach shows your commitment to providing excellent customer service and may even resolve the issue without need for technical support transfer. One important thing to note, the original question is kind of convoluted and it uses the acronyms. Just to clarify for you, CSR stands for Customer Service Representative. And now let's look at the incorrect choices A, B, and C, to see why they are incorrect. I think those options are incorrect because they only involved asking the customer to perform a single action and then transferring them to technical support. This approach may not resolve the issue, and it may result in the customer having to wait longer for the resolution. Did you come up with the different answer? If you did, please make sure to post your answer, considerations, and thought process in comments. Here's a very interesting question on how to provide recommendation to your manager for the new product line. Your manager wants you to provide a recommendation on whether to continue investing in the new product line based on your analysis of the sales data. What is the best approach to analyze the sales data and provide the recommendation? You're presented with 4 different choices. Let's look at each one of them. Choice A. Conduct a simple analysis of the sales data and provide recommendation based on initial findings. Choice B. Conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. Choice C. Provide a recommendation based on personal opinion and expertise without conducting any analysis of the sales data. And last but not least, choice D. Provide a recommendation based on the sales data from a similar product line without analyzing the sales data for the new product line. Take a close look to see if you can select the correct answer. Are you ready? Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think the correct answer here is choice B. In choice B, you need to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. I think this choice is correct because it allows you to provide a thorough understanding of the sales data, ensuring more accurate and informed recommendation. Conducting a comprehensive analysis of the sales data is essential in making an informed decision for your manager. Let's also look at the incorrect choices to determine why they are incorrect. Option A is too simplistic and can get the result in an incomplete assessment of the sales data. Option C is unreliable and can be seen as unprofessional since it's based on personal opinion and experience without any supporting data. And last but not least, choice D is not recommended since it involves using sales data from a similar product line, which may not be relevant to the new product line. Was your answer different? If it was, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.